Hi everyone, it's Amanda from AI for Education. I'm the CEO and co-founder. I'm really excited to be here with you today. As a former teacher, I know how hard it is to find time to do great instructional planning, think about personalization of learning, and really start to meet my students where they are. And that's why I'm so excited about the work we do at AI for Education. We're fully focused on the responsible adoption of AI and the aim to make schools better for once. And so I wanted to share with you some resources of what we do. We're very lucky we get to work across everything from directly with students to leaders to teachers all across the world. And the way we do that is through two ways. One is that we actually provide a whole host of free resources. And so I'll take you around our website just a bit to show you how we do that. We've got a free course that has almost 7,000 people that have taken it that takes you through the foundations of what generative AI is, it isn't, capabilities, limitations, and then really practical resources for how to use this within your practice and to start thinking about the ethical adoption of this tool across your school community. We've also got a whole host of free resources like a webinar series with about 25 hours of PD online. We've got our curriculum that's free and focused on 7 to 9 and 10 to 12, focused on Gen AI literacy for your students, and a whole bunch of great resources, including the student use guide on ethical and responsible adoption, because we want to move away from that rhetoric of AIs for cheating. So we have all these great resources, but I'm actually going to focus on one that we really love, which is what we started our work with back last year, which is our prompt library. And so if you've never used generative AI, the way that you ask ChatGPT or other tools a question is called a prompt. And it really matters how you craft your prompt, but it also can be a great way to unlock just the potential that this tool has. So if you look at our prompt library, we have everything from administrative, so if you're a leader, to assessment, communication, we have student-facing prompts, lesson planning, professional development, social emotional learning, and special education. And so I'm going to actually start with the first prompt I ever did before I started AI for Education, which is rubrics. So I don't know about you, but I find rubrics very hard to do. It takes a lot of time, and often even with all that time, I never get it quite right. So what we've done is we created this prompt library to help you get started. So whether you've used ChatGPT a lot or never before, there's something for you here. So every prompt in our library is focused on 3 components. One is an example prompt that you can actually go in and change. So this rubric for whatever your grade level is, the topic, the assignment, etc. But then we have a version that all you have to do is cut and paste, taking the cognitive load away, and just so you can start experimenting with this technology. We also have an example. In this case, we have 2 prompts, one with directions, one without, and then we've got some opportunities to make the prompt work for you. And this is what is so great about ChatGPT and other tools, is that the magic happens after you start prompting. So I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly. So we call this is ChatGPT 3.5. It's fully free. And what it is I'm going to ask it a question, this prompt, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger so you can all see. So this is for a 5th grade classroom studying engineering with the egg drop challenge, which is very common. So what I want it to do is I'm going to hit submit, and I'm going to see in under 10 seconds a really great rubric on the egg drop challenge. And this is it, formatted in a table. And so it's actually pretty funny. So it's done a little bit of funky formatting. So I'm actually going to ask it to reformat the table as it isn't correctly formatted. And so what you'll see is that this is a brand new technology, so it doesn't always work perfectly, and it's actually pretty funny. Now we see it kind of going off the rails a bit. So we're going to try it again in a new chat window. Always great. I always like actually pretty funny. Sometimes when you fail, it's just as fun because you can see what the possibilities are. But here we go in 10 seconds now. Even now it took me 30 seconds because we had a little bit of weirdness in that last chat window. As we had this opportunity to have criteria, materials, including egg protection, collaboration and teamwork, and it's in a 5-point scale. And I can work with this and create now in a 4-point scale and create a tip sheet for my students. And so again, in very little time with my prompt, I'm able to shift this to a 4-point scale, which I think might be better for this 5th graders, as well as a great tip sheet. And so what we can see is that generative AI is actually creating things that have never been created before based on the data it's been trained on and the requests that you give it or the prompts. And so there's really great opportunities for you to get started, to test and see how you can use this to support your instructional design, personalization of learning, how you do your work, but also start to think about how you can really create pathways for your students to be successful. So while we have all of these great rubrics and resources and all these great prompts, I want to give everyone a challenge. And so the challenge for you all is to really think about, what does this mean for your practice? How are you going to use generative AI and the tools that you learn about today and in your own, your own learning to actually make school better for once? And so we talk about that a lot. What does that mean for yourself and finding productivity gains, better instructional planning, saving some time? But also, what does that mean for your students? In terms of personalization, connecting it directly to their experience, moving into more authentic assessment. Because there are so many opportunities, even at this early stage, for you to start doing that with free tools. So I'm Amanda. I am the CEO of AI for Education. This is our website. You can get in touch here. It's just aiforoeducation.io. And just really appreciate being here. And thanks for the opportunity to talk to you today.